And the new trailer is not particularly good. It still has its problems. It's better than the original trailer, however. Here is some of what it looked like.
Is Snow White about to become the most hated movie in Disney history? Millions of fans are already voicing their disappointment after the trailer dropped, and this fairy tale might be facing a fate worse than the poison apple. But what exactly went wrong? The highly anticipated Snow White live-action remake has just released its trailer, and the internet is on fire. Disney, known for its magical reimaginings, aimed to breathe new life into this classic fairy tale. But it seems that their attempt has sparked more outrage than excitement. From the casting choices to the storyline, nothing seems safe from scrutiny. So, what exactly caused this massive backlash? Let's dive into the controversy surrounding this film and explore why Snow White is quickly becoming one of the most divisive films of recent years.
Has botched this Snow White movie every way it's possible to botch this Snow White movie. So you'll recall that originally the Snow White movie starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, you'll remember that film had a trailer so awful that Disney had to completely...
First, let's talk about the visuals. Disney movies are famous for their breathtaking animations and magical worlds, so it's no surprise that the visuals of this remake were under heavy scrutiny. Unfortunately, what was expected to be a stunning visual feast has turned out to be a bit of a letdown. The CGI is criticized for looking flat and uninspired, with the lush forests and iconic castles seeming more like an outdated video game than the immersive fantasy world we've come to expect from Disney. Fans of the original 1937 animated Snow White were hoping for the same sense of magic and wonder that made the classic so enchanting, but what they got instead felt lifeless and uninspired. The visuals seem like a poor imitation of the magic we all know and love, which left many fans feeling disappointed. Now, let's talk about the casting choices. This is where the controversy really kicks in. Disney has made an effort to cast a more diverse Snow White, a move that has ignited passionate debates across the internet. On one hand, some fans applaud this decision as an inclusive step forward, hoping that the film will resonate with a wider audience.
Problem with what Disney are doing, you think this is progressive and inclusive, and all those moaning about it should shut up.
I think you should live in the 1930s, actually, Piers, because that's where you belong.
On the other hand, a large portion of fans feels that this change strays too far from the iconic image of Snow White, who has traditionally been depicted with fair skin and dark hair. The question arises, is this a step toward progress, or does it detract from the authenticity of the character? The backlash doesn't end there. There's also a major shift in Snow White's character arc. In this version, she's no longer the innocent princess waiting to be saved. Instead, Snow White is portrayed as a warrior princess, independent, strong-willed, and determined to fight for her destiny. While some argue that this is a modern, empowering take on the character, others feel that it clashes with the innocence and gentleness that defines Snow White in the original film. And then, we have the portrayal of the seven dwarfs. In the original film, the dwarfs were quirky, lovable, and a crucial part of Snow White's story.
This Disney remake. And now, because Peter Dinklage said what he said last year, now it's taken away. And it's taken away because of quote-unquote progression and all that. It's not really...
But in this remake, their portrayal seems to have been significantly altered. Fans are questioning the decision to reimagine the dwarfs in such a drastic way. Many are concerned that their charm and humor will be lost in this new version. It's hard not to feel that something essential has been stripped away. The trailer was released just a few weeks ago, and from the very first glimpse, it was clear that this remake was aiming for something different. It wasn't long before social media exploded with negative feedback. Fans were quick to voice their disappointment, with many feeling that the film had gone too far in its attempts to modernize the story. For many, Snow White was a movie that represented innocence, kindness, and the kind of timeless fairy tale magic that transcended generations. But now, it feels as though Disney is trying too hard to appeal to a modern audience by making changes that many feel aren't necessary. Criticism came in fast and furious.
Like Snow White, they've just got a character named Snow White, but the story seems to be entirely different. Joining me now to discuss Disney seemingly destroying another classic is Turning Point USA contributor.
The casting choices, the new character arcs, and the lack of charm in the visuals. Some fans felt that Disney was trying too hard to tick off boxes for political correctness while forgetting what made Snow White so magical in the first place. It was almost as if the movie was more focused on appeasing critics and making a statement rather than staying true to the heart of the original fairy tale. And with every change, it became more apparent that Disney was struggling to find a balance between old and new. When you compare Snow White to Disney's other live-action remakes, the reaction becomes even more telling. The Lion King was widely praised for its stunning visuals, even if it lacked the warmth and charm of the animated original. Aladdin found a way to strike a balance between nostalgia and fresh, exciting elements, and Beauty and the Beast brought a new perspective while staying true to the core of the original film. But with Snow White, it feels like Disney is trying to force an agenda that doesn't quite fit the classic story. Instead of honoring the original, they've focused on making sweeping changes that leave many fans feeling alienated. There's a sense that Disney has lost confidence in its own legacy. The movie seems unsure of whether it wants to be a tribute to the original or a completely new, bold reinterpretation.
Witnessed gay people being villains in movies when I was...
Seven dwarves aren't villains.
And that I think stereotypes are really important to...
What stereotype do you think
and
they
actually,
represent?
in the universe of Snow White, wouldn't it be better if dwarves are...
As a result, it's ended up somewhere in the middle, pleasing neither side. In their attempt to appeal to modern sensibilities, they've lost sight of what made Snow White such a timeless, beloved story in the first place. For many people, Snow White is more than just a film, it's a cherished part of their childhood. The original animated version set the standard for what a Disney princess should be. Her purity, kindness, and innocence were qualities that many fans grew up with and continue to hold dear. So when Disney changes these core aspects of the character, it feels like something important is being taken away. It's not just about the movie, it's about a connection to something deep and nostalgic. The changes to Snow White's character have left many fans heartbroken, feeling like the magic they once loved has been replaced with something unfamiliar.
It was so fun. Oh my god, as a huge Disney fan, it was so exciting to finally get to go to D23. Yeah. I live on the East Coast, so I was never able to go, and also tickets sell out like in a flash. So
at the same time, there is an undercurrent of excitement from some viewers who are eager to see a new, empowered version of Snow White. They want to see a princess who stands up for herself, who isn't just waiting to be rescued, and who takes control of her own destiny. But is it necessary to strip away the essence of Snow White to make her more modern? This is a debate that's dividing fans, with some seeing it as a refreshing change, and others as a betrayal of the original. Social media has been flooded with memes, comments, and criticisms. One Twitter user posted, "What's next, Snow White in space? Disney really trying to make Snow White cool for 2024. Another joked, "The trailer gave me a headache, and not in a good way." Fans have been relentless in their critiques, with many feeling that the trailer missed the mark completely.
just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
Not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
The backlash is so intense that it has become a meme in itself, with people poking fun at everything from Snow White's new character arc to the visual effects. But not all is lost. Humor is still alive and well.
That her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
Snow White is running for president.
I'm launching my campaign.
One comment simply said, "Maybe Disney should let Snow White sleep for 100 years and save us all from this nightmare." So, what do you think about the new Snow White remake? Are you excited to see a reimagined version of this beloved classic, or do you feel like Disney is ruining a piece of your childhood? We want to hear your thoughts. Do you think this remake can still redeem itself, or is it destined to be the most hated Disney movie of all time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, let's talk about it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends so we can keep the conversation going.